Hey, Kevin here, and we're back with Circulating with Purpose Part 2. And in this session, we're going to talk about more of the 360 degree, 20 square feet. We're going to unpack that in a minute. That whole part of what it means to connect and influence and really and essentially build a network within the organization that you work with or work for internally. So we're going to unpack that. And going back to what we talked about in the last session, I can't emphasize enough for you to struggle, to honor the struggle, to really work through the whole idea of what that looks like for you. Because I know that was really 10,000 feet, big picture, lots of stuff there. And I want you to wrestle with that a little bit, okay? Because it can be intimidating to try to go outside of the comfort zones that we have established for us and around us. I mean, it just is that way. And we can get kind of stuck, kind of like just kind of doing our thing and not really expanding our horizons or being exposed to some incredible people. There was a guy who said, your network is your net worth. And networking isn't necessarily about giving away and being super cool or anything like that. It's just simply about being interested in others before you become interesting. It's that whole idea of just pursuing valuable relationships with people and eventually adding value to them because of who you are. It's not because of anything special other than just who you are. And the goal for that, the real win in that, the invisible, what I would call in that, is that you begin to find your voice and become ridiculously free. That ridiculous freedom is incredibly attractive to people because there's lots of people who have masks on. And when you're just cool with being you and being okay with whatever people, feel or do and when they interact with you, there is just something special about that attracts people, and you will get favor. And I'm telling you, favor is an important thing to gain, but sometimes we don't ever get a chance to experience it if we're just hunkered down doing the same thing today that we did yesterday. So again, I want you to spread your wings a little bit on that one. And it's not like you got to conquer the world with it. It just keep moving forward through the idea that, hey, when there's something going on and your brain is saying, just hang out here, you don't want to go do that. Don't listen to that. That's the resistance. That's that part of you in there that tries to hold you back. And we're going to get into that here. It's the weird psychobabble world of stuff in our head that makes us procrastinate and quit and do stupid stuff and self-sabotage. That's coming. But I just want to make sure that when we get into this whole process of networking, that you do it in a healthy way. Because a lot of people just don't know how to do it. And when they try to do it, it just doesn't turn out well. It doesn't smell very good, if you know what I mean. So anyway, enough said on that part of it. I just need you to take some risks, would you? And again, I want for you, I want to save you years and years of time because I didn't learn this stuff till I was like 35. And by that time, I mean, I actually have been able to, obviously accelerate in that area of my life. But man, I left so many good opportunities on the table that with people that I've known all along the way that I really never sunk my teeth into in terms of really trying to understand and add value to people and build those relationships. I tell you what, man, if I was a young emerging leader right now and I had that, wow, it would have been a game changer. It really would have. So anyway, my remorse aside, okay, what I want for you is for you to kind of continue to build your reputation among people just because of who you are and not because of anything special you do. The special comes later. And that comes as you grow and as you learn and as you add value to others and you share what you're learning with others. That's all the good things. So anyway, with that said, we're transitioning into this whole idea of circulating with purpose within your organization. And what's very interesting about within our organizations, there's so much that we take for granted. And I just want to make sure that we invest in the people around you. And there's a 360-degree dynamic to that. There are people who are above you, where you need to learn how to influence up and connect up in the organization. There are people who are lateral to you, who you need to add value to them in their own unique ways. And you know what their needs are, and you know in ways that you can do your job better to help their job get easier. And that's a good way to do that. And you want camaraderie and you want connection with the people that you work with, which is a good thing. And then there are going to be, in some cases, people who report to you. And when those people are reporting to you, those are people that are a little bit further down. And what's really weird about that whole thing, I've always believed this, is let me draw a picture here on this thing, and we're gonna scoot over here and draw this. So I'm gonna put my bald head somewhere over here. Here we go. So the thing that we have to understand, we're gonna draw some pictures here, and the thing we have to understand is this, is I don't like using the word beneath you, because no one is beneath you. And yet there are people who report to you, and a lot of times emerging leaders always come to me and say, Kevin, what do we do with that? Like, how do I handle that whole idea? Let me give you a good picture of this. So the one thing you have to realize as a leader, I'm gonna draw a little pyramid here. Okay, so the key here is most organizations look at leadership as, here's everybody down here and here's you, okay? And they have to come up here, and it's this real command and control kind of thing that I have to go to you for permission, or I have to go for you for answers. But when you're leading people, it's really important that you flip the pyramid upside down. That looks a little bit more like this. You are here to serve them, to give them what they need so they can accelerate and grow and be more confident and trust their skills. And this whole mindset of how you lead others and how you lead up is really important, because this idea goes back to earlier when we talked about levels of leadership. People follow you because what you've done for them personally is level 4. Level 3 is people follow you because of what you've done for the organization. And a lot of people are stuck, and the people who are stuck are those people in that level of the pyramid. When you turn the pyramid upside down and you go, I'm going to serve you. How can I help you win? How can I help you do your job better? And you're giving them what they need to be successful. You are now winding their sails. You're not an answer giver. You're not a permission giver. You're not any of those things. But you need to, again, circulate with purpose with people who you are serving. So when you circulate with purpose with people you are serving, it's a different kind of conversation. We're going to talk about that. So anyway, so we're just going to go back to where we were before. And so, okay, so we have people here that we are serving, right? We have people here who are lateral. I'm going to erase all this in a minute. And then with people here who we're leading up. And so with that said, there's usually a smaller number of people here. This might be 2 to 3. This may be a whole lot of 15 to 30 people. And this might be 8 to 10 maybe, in a decent sized department, depending on the size of your organization. Could be 2 to 5 for that matter. But anyway, what I'm saying is that, hey, I'm having a serving conversation here. I'm having a different value-added level of conversation here, and I'm having another whole different level of conversation in leading up, where I'm trying to provide information, try to provide status, and I'm trying to provide value to make my boss's job easier. So with that said, this is just a preliminary picture, by the way. So I'll try to draw better pictures as we go, but I want you to get a snapshot of this. So this whole idea of 360 degrees is a really important element to understand. Let me do it in red here. That might even be better. That is just ugly right there. Okay, enough of that. Let's erase all this. So with that said, how do we circulate with purpose within an organization? So let's start very much so at the very beginning. So if we're leading up in the organization, if we're leading above us, there are just really critical elements that we have to make sure that we understand when we're circulating with purpose with them. The key is this. The word that we want to pay attention to is cadence. And I think we might have brought that up last time. cadence is this whole idea that when I have a regular beat, people expect things on that beat. If I send an email to them every Tuesday, they're looking for it eventually. There's a pattern that we want to develop that's consistent, and it has even a more of a consistent feel to it. So a cadence is obviously like a schedule of sorts, and all of a sudden, and then there has to be a consistency, not just in timing, but in the kind of, in the, I guess what I would say in, let's just put this, timing, and in the context, structure of your communication. So when you're looking at, say, hey, I want to do this, I want to be able to provide an update. Let's say one way to circulate with purpose would be to bring status. And we've talked about this earlier and how important it is for your leader, your boss, to get unsolicited statuses from you. These are levels of context of things that you're working through and dealing with, that you're updating them in real time. And you're saying, hey, this is the challenge we're working through, but we're going to figure this out. This is a question that I have that I'm wrestling with right now, and I'm trying to process this with my team. But I'm wondering what your take might be on it. It's this whole idea of giving them status, because every leader organization, even if they don't always read everything you give them, can always go back and look. And number two, if they ever get confronted in a conversation they're having at the C-suite level of the organization, the upper part of the organization, with confidence, you have given him a gift, because he can speak or she can speak consistently about what it is from that baseline of information you provided them. And that makes them look really on top of things, and they love it. It's so important. I didn't say love it, love it, love it, love it. They love it. It's a powerful thing for them to be able to, with confidence, sit in that meeting, that executive team meeting, and say, hey, I was talking to someone from engineering, and this is what they were telling me. Hey, someone from estimating was sitting around, and they were telling me this, and this is the information I got where the status for our estimating team is. I feel like we need to move in this direction. There's powerful elements in that. And so I can't stress enough, you need to give unsolicited statuses. They don't have to be extensive, but they need the timing, the context, and the structure of it needs to be consistent. Whether it's, hey, here are the issues, here are the challenges, here are the wins, like the topics of each section. Even if they're 4 and it's only a paragraph long, it's not a big deal. It just needs to be consistent, and it needs to be structured so it gives them context, and you're updating them on your world. Here's what's beautiful about it. The leading indicator of that are the conversations you're going to have in the hallway. So that's a beautiful thing on that end, okay? So far, so good. So the second part of leading up is a whole idea of like value add. So let's say you see something, you read an article, you see something out there and it's really cool, and you go, whoa, hey, this is really awesome. Let's dig into this for a minute. And you know what? I bet my boss would love this article. Yes, it is. The minute you question whether they would love it or not, or it would be really good for them to know, because in the area that I pay attention to, remember in the first part where we talked about who's kicking butt, taking names, who are the people out there rocking the free world? Guess what? You might find an article from them and you go, man, you know what? My boss really needs to see this, and you forward it to them. I read a little thing that comes to me called The Hustle, it's called. And it's got all these little articles that are in there, and there's always a little send button at the bottom. Man, I fire those things out to people because I coach a lot of different people in a lot of different industries, and if I see something really cool, I'm just sending it out. And it's like, hey, here's something for you to read. A lot of times they're short and sweet. People that are busy love that because they can knock that thing out quick, but it's just a value add in some way. And it connects them with the idea that you know a little bit about what some of their struggles might be. What? Are you kidding me? Listen, people don't do this. People don't do this. And listen, I'm not going to give you any more than 1 or 2. I can give you probably a whole bunch more here, and it would just make your head hurt. These are just actionable things you can do to lead up in the organization. So with me so far? So now let's go lateral here for a minute, okay? Now lateral is real simple. And all this is, and I call number one, are bumps. And bumps are really important things because bumps are like, hey, how's it going? Tell me your story for the day. You know, what's your challenge? And then end it. Okay, this is called a goodbye standard. Okay, we have hello standards and goodbye standards. A goodbye standard. Let me get this. A goodbye standard is, hey, how can I serve you better? Is there anything I can do? Ooh, wait a minute. My bald head's in the way here. Let me move myself around here. Boom. Okay, how can I serve you better? That is so important. Listen, hey, bump, how's it going? Hey, what's the day? It's like connection, right? There's an element of connection there. So, and sometimes lunches, I do a lot of coffee. I'm probably talking real fast today. And I've had about 3 of these bad boys. So I know that world. So anyway, but the thing is when you're doing that, you're connecting. Again, this is context of their world. And they get a little dose of context in your world too. But again, these are lateral relationships. These are, hey, how can I help you? How can you help me? What are some things that we're doing here that really, can really dial us in and take us to another level? And lastly, down here are the people I can serve. And quite frankly, here the key here is this: connect to listen. Number one thing people tell me, and you guys, I'm not going to tell you anything you don't know at this thing, but we're just not good at listening anymore. And one of the hardest things about being on the front lines, trying to really knock it out, and especially if you're a new leader, you're trying to impress and you're trying to lead the team and give them clarity and direction. But you know what? You can't beat listening. You just can't. And I think that the connection to listen happens in one-on-ones. And you need to have a structure for your one-on-ones. And again, I think we talked about this in a previous video. And if you haven't seen it, go back and look at the Monday Motivation, where we just kind of emptied the my 5 things. Hey, so first of all, do you have clarity? Is there good energy? Do you have courage? Right? Are you productive? And do you have influence? And so when you look at those things as a listener, you're just asking, hey, tell me, do you feel like you have clarity in your job? Hey, what gives you energy? What excites you right now? It's good questions. And I need you to learn on the coaching side of things. I need you to kind of take a page out of my book a little bit and just be a coach for those people as you serve them. The better you understand the people you lead, the better you can serve them. And that's so powerful. That's the key. So when we look at this whole idea of what it means to serve, we look at this whole idea of, hey, we're going to have good constructive bumps. And hey, when I'm leading up, I'm going to give status and I'm going to give value. When you're doing those things and you're just pounding this, I'm telling you, your clarity is going to improve. Your energy is going to improve. Your courage is going to increase. Your productivity is going to be so much more dialed in because it's going to be moving the needle kind of things, not checking off a box stuff. And lastly, you're going to have incredible influence, which isn't that what we want? So guys, I'm just telling you, and gals, folks, I'm trying to tell you, this is so important and it's so overlooked. So many people just show up to their job and they do today what they did yesterday, hoping to get paid more tomorrow. And I know you got to get stuff done. I know you have to-do lists. I know you have things, but I need you to play chess, not checkers. No more checkers. You're in the program and you've been identified as people to be in the program for a reason. And it's because leadership above you wants you to be exposed to ideas and maybe and the ability to work and do things that affect the culture of the organization and the impact that you have within it and around it. And again, organizations usually aren't static. They're looking to grow. And with growth come opportunities. And this is a great place to position you in a spot where somewhere along the way they say, why not so-and-so? Hey, we got this thing to do, this job to fill. Why not so-and-so? You know, you want to position yourself for that pivot. And this is a great way to do it. So again, circulate with purpose. The big picture stuff is good. You want to get all you can on that one. That's on the macro. And this is more in the micro of how do I, hey, these are the people in my 20 square feet. My 20 square feet bumps into everybody else's 20 square feet somewhere in the organization. And here's the way that I bump into other people. And that is so, so powerful when you have a way that you're doing it and you're doing it on purpose. So folks, I just want to encourage you, keep thrashing through this, honor the struggle, and you'll find your way. And hey, and I can't encourage you enough, give me feedback, shoot me email, tell me a story, say, hey, do we have time for a phone call sometime? I'll absolutely do the best I can to find a way to connect so I can help you continue to learn and grow and go to another level. So, hey, stay after it, stay hungry, and we'll see you in our next module. We got some more modules coming up. We're going to talk, next time we're going to talk about pray drive, not P-R-A-Y drive. I mean, I think that might be like where I've been praying. This is pray drive. This is like animals attacking stuff drive. And how are you attacking things is what we're going to get into. And that whole idea of bias for action and how do you take things by storm and get things done. And we're going to talk about that anyway. So, hey, hang in there and we'll see you next time in the Emerging Leader Mastermind. Take care, guys.